20 marriages that lasted less than a year, according to Reddit. Number 20. Together on and off for 11 years, married on our 11-year anniversary. That was August 23rd. December 22nd, she passed in an accident. Oddest part may be that my father lost his wife on the same day when he was the same age. What the fuck? He responds to his own comment, because I guess he didn't understand how to edit it. To clarify, my mom was my dad's second wife. My mom worked daycare where my two oldest brothers went. It's been a few years now. It's still hard and always will be. I never thought I'd know how to love again, not like that. Always thought I might love someone again, but didn't think I could have a real closeness. I didn't think that someone would love me so much that I wouldn't know how to not fall in love with her. I met someone who loved me even though I was broken and held me while pieces mended. Her heart is possibly the most beautiful thing I've ever known. She couldn't fix me, but she was a big part of it and loved me while I processed a lot of it. I still wake from dreams about my lost wife, sometimes in tears. But when I do, I'm not alone. Good for you people and all of these relationships that just work out with wonderful people. Some of us have had the misfortune of investing in people that unfortunately were monsters in disguise, wearing that people clothes, showing us the depths of the human capacity for cruelty, if you could call them human. Moving on, number 19, Jesus Christ, write an essay, why don't you? My mom met a dude on Monday and began proceedings to marry him on Wednesday. All of us knew there was no way in hell this was going to last. Well, what the hell did we know about love at first sight? Apparently nothing. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to talk to mama, old dumbass. He moved in with us shortly after the wedding that happened ASAP. Essentially, they got married as soon as they were able to, legally. First, he and my mom had completely opposite personalities, and they sure as fuck didn't know that knowing each other all of 2 weeks. They didn't know that, naturally. He went on and on about how she needed to grow out her hair because she looked butch. Then that escalated to him telling her, fuck you, when she didn't want cake. What? His mom also babied him intensely. He was this 40-year-old man that jumped anytime mom called. His mom wanted my mom to sell her house and land so that they could go back to renting one of her properties. She strolled into our home once and began telling him how she didn't like her home. Okay. He needed to move back to her house now. He turned our land into a junkyard because he was a mechanic. And he was a fucking garbage mechanic, and all of his cars were extremely unsafe. He gifted me my first vehicle, aka the city told him it needed to be off his mom's rental property or else. The ball joints collapsed, the timing belt was very off, and he left a full thing of oil next to my unsecured battery. Oh, and the driver's side door didn't actually close. The headlights also fell out quite often, and I ended up thanking him and then quietly selling it for $500 because someone really wanted the body. The guy was horrified when he actually saw how the car was put together. It all came to a screeching end 3 months later because they ran out of toilet paper and he didn't want to go to town to get some. And my mom gave me shit for meeting my husband over the internet. Haha. Well, at least y'all have something in common, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Well, old people know what's up. They know everything. So they can tell us all about how they know everything on their deathbed. And we'll be, I don't know, doing some vaudeville dances on their fucking grave. At least we've been together 10 years. Uh-oh. In your face, mom. What? Uh-oh. In your face, mom. Ow. What are the responses here, Reed? I'm really surprised it made it 3 months. Somebody else says, that is the best reason for a divorce that I've ever read in this thread. You know, ran out of toilet paper. He don't want to go get some. Uh-oh.
You need to go get it. I'm not gonna get it. The fuck I look like.
Number 18. I was married for slightly more than a year. Oh, but your comment's been gilded, so we have to read it. Jeez. I was married for slightly more than a year. We were high school sweethearts. Jesus Christ, just shut all the doors and windows before you get a chance to even look outside. You know what I'm talking about? Literally got married right after high school. Our whole marriage was plagued with terrible life events. We moved closer to her college, but had to move back due to finances. And right at this time, my grandfather died. That sucks. We were pretty poor after moving back home, but we managed for a while. Things were even looking nice. We had moved out of my mom's house and had our own apartment again. We were working, had money, and we were enjoying our time together. I got deathly ill, and this put me out of work. With medical bills and rent, we were back to struggling. I had a lot of mental issues like anxiety and depression at the time, as well as and so did she. Nigga, I want to see words that make it clear that you've been diagnosed with something that you needed to be medicated for, because we all struggle with crippling anxiety and depression, nigga. But we get up in the fucking morning and, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to judge anybody, but you better show me the monkey balls. You gonna tell us a story, you gonna tell it right now. She started to get really close to a coworker while I was out of work too. They're dating now. Haha. She don't want no sick nigga. I'm kidding. That's really mean, but okay. That's not what some people are bargaining for. You know what I'm talking about? I moved out in November 2015, and we were married in July 2014. We were officially divorced in April last year. We haven't talked much since, and it's still difficult sometimes to think about, but I've gotten much better over the past few months. Edit. This got bigger than I expected. Nobody give a damn about your corny ass edit. Somebody responds, hang in there, dude. I have no idea how it must feel. I have no idea how it must feel, but it will get better. Come on. I'm Kermit the Frog here. I don't know how to do Kermit. I don't know what's going on in this thread. Number 17. Shouldn't have ever walked down the aisle in the first place, but abusive relationships fuck with your head. Okay, let's just let this helicopter pass. Okay. It's trying to scoop me up, probably. All right. Shouldn't have ever walked down the aisle in the first place, but abusive relationships can fuck with your head. Thinking back now about the cold feet I had, and realized that there were warning bells, not cold feet. Warning bells? Warning bells are ringing? Red flags are swinging? Warning bells, cold feet. English is so dumb. The final straw. You know what I mean? Take all this shit. Is this the helicopter coming back again? Anyway. Seriously, guys, listen to all of this like out of context. Imagine like teaching somebody the English language, but you didn't teach them the nuances of it. So we're saying things like warning bells, red flags, cold feet, the final straw. Like what? Final straw was cheating on me. Oh no, it hurt like hell, but I am ultimately thankful because that woke me the fuck up. And then I said, oh holy shit, all of those times he hit me and or choked me, yeah, that's pretty fucked up too. The mental game abusers play can seriously mess with your perception of reality. Or you just a dumb hoe. Sorry. You know what I mean? Or you just a dumb hoe. Come at me, comment section. A responder says, my sister was in an abusive physically and emotionally relationship and would have married him if it wasn't for him putting myself in danger. What? She had low self-esteem because of him and ended up caring more about her family's well-being than her own? What is going on? I'm not gonna pursue it. I'm not gonna pursue it. When there's that many helicopters flying overhead like something is going down that people trying to check out, somebody getting dead. Number 80. Number 80? Nigga, what? 80% of why she stayed is because she felt sorry for him. He was cunning, and every time it came close to a breakup, he would really admit he suffered with bipolar disease and was willing to get help. Oh, He always refuse his medication. Well, nigga, like, that's enough. That's a wrap. Let me just stop this right now. When people are refusing their medication, like, what's wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you people? Marriage as it stands is really fucking stupid and, like, ritualistic and traditional as well. Like, marriage is one of those things where most people cannot, literally, other than, like, I want to say certain financial issues, or maybe if you need papers and you're trying to get somewhere, you know what I mean? A lot of the people getting married cannot describe to you why they're getting married. It's just because it's something they saw in some corny ass movie or TV show, so they've been like indoctrinated into this ritual, and that's what it is. You know, if other people were repeating other kind of rituals, it would be such a social like disaster as far as like how unacceptable it would be. But this shit's fine because it's in, you know, it's the happiest day of our life. Nigga, suck my ass. Okay, number 16. When I got home from Afghanistan, my wife at the time admitted that she had sex with 23 guys while I was gone. 23? You've got to be throwing that number out there. Why would she even put that number out there? 23, my nigga? And why would she tell you the number? Why would she keep such solid count and then tell you not just over 10, not just over 15, not just over 20, 23? She got to tell you precise number. I cheated on you while we were together, while you were away with this many people. One is bad enough. What is happening? Is this going to get more ridiculous? Number 15. What if I read the whole rest of the list just like this? Number 15. My ex-wife and I lasted about 7 years. Oh, that's weird, because I thought this thread had something to do with marriages that lasted less than a year. Weird. My ex-wife and I lasted about 7 years, but her first marriage ended pretty much right at the year mark. They were both 19, she got pregnant, they got married, and tried to make their life work on an $8 an hour income, with her as a stay-at-home mom with no money, no car, and no friends in the same place in life she was. Day in and day out, stress drove them apart. Well, there you go. Congrats on this guy for being able to get with some lady who already had a kid by another nigga. Because that's not who Kyle would be. You got a baby? You and whoever you had that baby with can get for hoogly broobly. Because I ain't got nothing to do with your ass, alright? You could come in here looking like Beyonce. I'll be like, who kid that is? Get that. You better go bottle feed that little mother. Baby. A response here reads, same for me and my wife. In our first 2 years of living together, I was making about $9 to $10 an hour. Who cares? Am I in the am I in the mood for this? Let's just stick to the monkeys here, even though it's going to make the video shorter, but I'm not trying to like milk you for your time. It's the topic you're probably interested in. Number 14 reads, friend of mine bought a house in a small town with his new wife, and he continued to commute 1 hour each way to work in our city. She worked part-time in the small town, and around the 10-month mark their marriage, she cheated on him with a mechanic in the small town. Says that was 5 years ago, and she's still with the mechanic, but he won't commit to her. And then somebody said, geez, I wonder why. Cheating, bitch. Just bang her brains out, you know what I'm talking about? It ain't worth a ring on a finger. It ain't worth a ring on a finger. Number 13. Another abuse story. Ooh, it's getting good as we get to the top. The final straw, as old ladies like to say. This better be a lady saying shit like this.
The final straw is when he hit me and he said, you're ugly too. And I was like, you can hit me all you want, but I'm not fucking ugly. Nobody can talk to me like that.
I don't know if you guys can hear that I had my chin like really high and my eyes closed. So just imagine that again.
Nobody tells me I'm ugly, okay?
The final straw was when he held me down after 6 weeks of marriage and anally raped me. Oh man, that sounds kind of hot. I'm kidding. No. But I mean, you guys are married. I don't know. But I guess rape is rape, right, guys? Rape is rape, so no. It's bad. The final straw was when he held me. It's crazy that it got to a point like that. That's the final straw, you know. The final straw was when he held me down after 6 weeks of marriage and anally raped me. He made you his bitch. I'm so sorry. Telling me over and over, you can't rape your wife. Well, I'm not saying I agree with it or I commend where he's coming from, but I understand a lot of people walking around with that kind of mentality. You know, you can't rape your girlfriend, you can't rape your wife, you know, because in their brain, it's just a switch that flips on. You're mine now, as far as they're concerned. But that's not the way that life goes. It's not the truth, you know. These ladies get to decide, baby. We live in a world where, and why would you risk it even if you weren't the type that, like, took credence wrong. Look, even if you weren't the type of person who took stock in the belief that, oh, you know, you can't rape your woman. Why would you risk it, knowing that a woman can call and lie and put your ass in jail for a while? Why would you risk that? How would you think it's worth it? Anyway, somebody said it took another month to figure out how to leave him and to put my plan in motion. I moved 400 miles away, started over, then believed him when he said he went to detox and recovery and gave him one more chance. Girl, you crazy. You crazy. Less than 2 weeks later, I had a gun to my head, an ashtray thrown across the room at my face, and security had to remove him from my job twice, she said. Had to get the police involved to get him out of my rent house. Then he disappeared again. I'm safe now. I've been 21 years since then, and I'm now married to the love of my life. Somebody said, fuck that guy with a pineapple. You are the love of my life. Hold you down and anally rape with a pineapple sideways. Make sure you feel it for days. You are the love of my life. I'm always singing with another song playing in the background. I hope this triggered somebody. If it did, you know, write something in the comment section. Maybe I'm going to start this whole thing where I just say shit to get on people's nerves so that maybe they write in the comment section. Because I'm lonely and sometimes I feel like maybe I'm going to kill myself. Just kidding. I'm a really, feet on the ground, kind of established, in charge of my emotions type dude. You know what gets me riled up more than anything is the feeling of other people going through hardships and having to deal with shit that, like, I can deal with, but I know that they can't, you know? When somebody can be cruel to me and that's cool, but somebody's cruel to somebody else and they don't deserve it. It's like, why would you do that? Why you gotta be an asshole in that capacity? That shit gets me going. All that and stupidity. Number 12, nothing really went wrong. This is an interesting beginning. I am enthralled. I am captivated with your grabber. The question is, how did the marriage only last less than a year if nothing really went wrong? The user continues. Nothing really went wrong at all. Nothing really went at all. We had been dating for 7 years, so we thought it was a safe bet. We realized a year into our marriage that we were better as separate people, and it fucking sucked. There were a ton of tears, a whole lot of begging not to let it end, a whole bunch of trying newer things, living separately, splitting the money so that we could be apart together, and it just didn't work. We were just live-in friends when it came down to it, and I think too that if we hadn't gotten married, we never would have seen it. It was sort of the impetus for us both to move on, as shitty as that might sound. It was a shakeup in our otherwise completely humdrum stable life, and it ended up working out for the best, but it fucking sucked for a long time. Someone else responds, that spark isn't permanent with new relationships. That's why so many people end up getting bored and marriage is considered hard. The important thing is finding a significant other you enjoy being around and having fun with, a best friend. That way, when the spark fades, you're not stuck with the starfish who sits on the couch and eats Cheetos all day. Marry your best friend, not a girl you have the hots for. Ain't nothing wrong with starfishing on a bed and eating some Cheetos, baby. I got that hot and honey cheese doodles. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I don't know if you could hear me raising my chin with my eyes closed. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Just picture that in your head. So, number 11 reads, mine lasted just a little over a year, but close enough. Married my girlfriend of 4 years right before getting deployed. She didn't have anything to keep herself busy while I was gone, a job or a hobby, and ended up getting into drugs while I was gone. You know, she was sucking some dick for them drugs too. Then I got her pregnant during my 2-week leave in the middle of deployment, and she felt so trapped that she had talked me into agreeing to give our child up for adoption once she was born. I was so blindly in love with her that I would have agreed to darn near anything she suggested. Darn. Found the Captain America. I would have agreed to gosh darn near anything she suggested. She ended up leaving me a week after our daughter was born and canceling the adoption, taking her back from the adopting parents. Long story cut short, she got back into drugs, sold the baby for drug money. I'm just kidding. I know some of you guys are listening to this. And that's not funny, you know. I'm sorry to be Kyle about that. That line was, you know, if this were closer to the beginning of the list, I'd restart it. But it ain't, you know, so that's gonna have to stay in. I am not editing that out, you know. Selling the baby for drug money, man. Oh boy, pretty sure she wasn't on them while she was pregnant with my daughter. You don't know that nigga. Once into drugs. Somebody else said, had 2 more kids with whoever was her dealer at the time. I fucking called it. When you sucking the dick of your dealer and you, oh my God, 2 kids though? I guess the pussy was good. Child Protective Services ended up stepping in and gave me full custody of my daughter. Not a day goes by when I look at my daughter and wonder what the fuck I was thinking. I'm so glad to have this wonderful, crazy little girl in my life. I hope that girl ain't got the drugs in her, but maybe it'll keep her a little bit more interesting than half of these basic hoes rolling around the world that ain't got nothing going on for their ass. You know what I'm talking about? That's why some of you girls need to put so much effort into your appearance. Here's why. Because you're boring, all right? I know your interests you think elevate you to some kind of I'm not like the other girls status, but guess what though? All of the other girls think they're not like the other girls. That's something that every girl says. What? Try to be you in a way that's different though, please. You know what I'm talking about? Love you girls. And if you got a comment for that, just leave it in the comment section. You got a problem with what I just said? You got a problem with what I just said? Yeah, we're bringing it on home here, guys. Top 10 reasons that these marriages were under a year. Coming in at number 10. She started feeling trapped, as in the closet. I'm kidding. My expectation of monogamy was too much. She cheated. So she discovered polyamory. Decided she wanted to be polyamorous with her boss, and that it was worth opening the marriage no matter what. She was surprised when I divorced her. Slut. Somebody else responds, she was using poly as an excuse to throw responsibility back on you for not being open-minded or supportive enough. Convenient cover for what used to be called cheating, promiscuity, or being a fucking whore. This is my type of comment. Why didn't this get gilded? Somebody else responds to that. There's some evidence she may actually be poly. I'm 96% sure she didn't physically cheat on me. Emotionally, yes. I think she put off examining her feel. Nigga, emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating. Why are we having this conversation? We're supposed to be adults. Emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating. So I don't know where you're going with this, but you need to shut the fuck up. We don't need to hear any more of what started off with that. Somebody else responds, every single person feels attracted to other human beings that aren't their partner. No joke. That's because you're not blind. You have eyes, so you can see that someone else is objectively attractive. It's what you chooses to do. It's what you chooses to do with that determines who you are. Somebody said Mewtwo. I don't understand why that was gilded. Look. My body is like imploding. I don't have time for these like brain busters here. Number 9. Husband decided to start an affair within 3 months of the marriage. Damn. Found out about 6 months after, so it lasted 9 months. That sucks. Still maintains that there was nothing wrong. Just thought it would have been over before I found out. Oh, and our baby was only 6 months old. What a catch of a man. Started the divorce proceedings after waiting the year minimum. A year minimum? That's interesting. Number 8. Long story short, cancer. That sucks. Dated for a few years and decided to move in together with her roommates. The same year we did that, she gets diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which is why I am very angry at the sexist attitudes doctors have when it comes to women. If they allowed her to get her tubes tied like she wanted to years ago, they might have found it at an earlier stage, but there's no good symptoms or signs of early stage ovarian cancer. We were going to get married this summer, but her oncologist said to move it up. Oh my God. So we got married this past September. She died in December. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What a world. That's a real one. That's a real one, folks. Cancer is running fucking rampant. And all we can wonder is like, yo, we jump forward 30 years. Like, is cancer still gonna be fucking us in the mouth the way that it is right now? Is cancer still gonna be fucking us up? Holy shit. Number 7. My cousin was married for 18 hours. Excuse me? Or something ridiculous like that. To hear her tell it, there was a really apocalyptic argument on their wedding night over where they went from there. The moral of the story appears to be that before you get married, you and your spouse should have roughly compatible ideas of what you're looking for out of a marriage. How many kids, when to have them, where you live, whether you both work, money issues, etc. Oh, you think, nigga? You think these are things you should talk about before you're just like, will you marry me? You just look so beautiful in that light, I had to just put a ring on your finger. Ha ha. The fuck? Somebody commented with the quote over where they went from there, saying that I pictured them driving in the car after their wedding ceremony, wondering where to go next and then breaking up. I want to go to Vegas.
Vegas? We're going to Italy. Set a course for the nearest airport. Because we're not driving there, you fraud, you hack.
Number 6. This one's kind of fucked up. It happened to my friend. We were deployed in Okinawa. My friend married his girl prior to deployment. He found out mid-deployment that she cheated on him. But the way he found out was kind of messed up. He checked his Facebook one day and saw a message from some dude he didn't know. The guy straight up told him that he slept with his wife. She didn't say she was married. And when he checked her Facebook, he saw she was married to my friend. He felt guilty and had to message him. My friend wasted no time and divorced her in Okinawa. I'm not sure if that was possible. I just remember him doing some kind of legal work the following day. Well, good on the guy that told him. I burned your wife, dude. Some chick says I'm a girl, but I kinda was in that situation. Not within a marriage because we're all pretty much still teens or in our early 20s. Sleep with a guy who was doing a year abroad. He was from Spain. A few times, all good fun. He told me he was single and not looking for something romantic right now. Suddenly a friend of his met this guy at a party, told me that the guy had a pretty much long-term girlfriend back at home. I was pissed to say the least, told him to fuck off and never had contact with him again. I wish I could have told his girlfriend, but I don't know her name, don't have his Facebook, and don't even speak Spanish. I hope she finds out somehow. Blah, 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 blah. Number 5. She had another boyfriend when I proposed and kept him around while planning our wedding. They got married after our divorce. Don't get married while you're in the military. Military sounds really honestly awful. Even for the people that are staying home. Because like people cannot fucking keep their legs closed apparently. Number 4. My mom's marriage to her first husband was only a year and a half at most. He was diagnosed with cancer and he said that he wanted to marry her before he died, so they got married and took a honeymoon to Hawaii because he'd always wanted to go there too. Jeez. Sucky. Man, this is a big one. Number 3. My ex was previously engaged to a man with a terminal illness. They were together for many years, but he broke it off for her own good. She was also sexually abused by her father, and there was a lot of baggage that came with that too. We were very good friends in high school and reconnected over 10 years later. She was completely open with me about everything, so I knew what I was getting into. With a broken heart and a broken family, she found comfort in an old friend, and what I feel happened was she mistook safety and normalcy for love. She was way out of my league by many standards, so I tried to give her everything she needed to make her happy, but she was dealing with a lot of mixed emotions because of her abuse. She very rarely enjoyed sex and thought she was letting me down as a wife, even though I told her I knew this going in and never expected anything and never pressured her one bit. When she needed space, I gave her space, but she needed somebody to talk to. At first, it was me. I'm guessing he means but when she needed somebody to talk to, at first it was me, but I didn't have the history that her ex-fiance had. She would call him in the middle of the night at his third shift job. Well, she fucked up here, bro. At first I tried to be understanding of it, but it hurt. I knew she still loved him. We struggled, tried separating. It was a roller coaster. If you dating a hoe that's stupid, you know what I mean? I get it. Everybody's got shit that they've gone through. This little bitch was abused by her daddy when she was young, man. That's some pretty fucked up stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes you develop conditions that there's just no way to fix, which is why when you're searching for a mate, you need to search based on compatibility. I don't want to consider myself somebody who is incapable of empathy or the type of person that's not going to be sympathetic of a situation, especially as it extends to somebody who is fucked in the head. Do you know what I mean? So this girl, if she just needs somebody that's going to be there in the capacity that her ex-fiance is going to be, I understand, I recognize, and I respect that. But she need to know that I'm not going to be having any of that type of shit because that's not who I am. So she going to need to find somebody that's going to be totally accepting and supportive in a situation like that, because if we can't be there for each other, then I'm not going to be there at all. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you need to find somebody who is compatible with you. And in this situation, based specifically on that, again, we don't know the whole, we're looking at a couple of puzzle pieces as it pertains to a big puzzle. I'm not saying, hey, at the first drop of the hat, which is another dumb phrase, you should be out of there, because if it doesn't work, then it's not meant to work, and everything should be natural and everything should be in harmony. If you guys are meant to be, you guys are meant to be, and everything will work out. I'm just saying, many of the times it seems like people allow shit to go on that they're clearly not okay with. You know what I mean? And people are bending over backwards to try and please the other person when they're not doing the same for the other person. Okay? Yeah, this chick's messed up. Yeah, this chick needs somebody with her. You know what I mean? But if this dude's allowing her to do this shit with an ex, knowing what's going to probably, come of it, knowing that it hurts, knowing that she loves him, you know what I mean? She needs to be making that much more of an effort to avoid doing something that she knows is bothering the mate. Let's continue. I'm not going to get invested in it. Just fuck me, man. A lot of these, get compatible and be sure that you're compatible before you enter into anything in the way of a relationship. What are you doing? You're gonna make me barf. We struggled and tried separating, and it was a roller coaster. Things were back on the way up. While lying in bed one night, she asked me, "Is it worth it?" Meaning all of the ups and downs over the past year. I said, "Of course it is. I love you. As long as we love each other enough, it's worth it." She looked back at me with a look of guilt, and that's when I realized that she didn't. Not another word was said. I got up and slept on the couch, left the final time the next morning. That was 8 years ago. I've been in a few relationships since, but never remarried. I don't expect many of you to have read this far, but that's okay. It was kind of therapeutic for me to write it out. So thanks, stranger on the internet. You asked a question that nobody close to me has in years, because back when I just brushed it off because I didn't want to talk about it. At least we didn't have kids or any jointly owned assets, so our divorce was just a breakup with a little paperwork. Good for you. Somebody says she doesn't sound out of your league. You sound like a good man. You guys don't sound like a good match, which is important when you guys are getting fucking married. Let's move on. Somebody else said, all the best for you and your future. Number 2. Okay. Man, this story sucks. A great beginning to what better be the suckiest story in the world. College roommates. He met a girl junior year that our entire group thought was wrong for him, but love is blind. Fast forward to summer after graduation, and they are about to get married in the fall. I am in the wedding. I am wedding man. They were apart for most of the summer. As he was working and she was finishing school and putting the wedding together, we converge on her hometown in Colorado. Wedding goes down, big reception, lots of money dropped on this one. We see them off to the honeymoon, and I return to St. Louis to home sweet home. 7 days later, I got a call from him asking if he can come stay with me. Sure. I pick him up at the airport single. At his insistence, we hit the nearest bar, and I get to hear all about how she cheated on him over the summer, but went ahead with the marriage because she felt pressured by how much her parents were paying. Good idea, you dumb broad. She told him pretty much as soon as they were alone after the ceremony, not any time during the 7 to 10 days they were together before the wedding. She insists they go on the honeymoon to work things out, but refuses to be intimate as she still has feelings for the other guy. Okay. Murder this chick. You got a problem with what I'm saying in this fucking video right now? Leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm done with assholes playing with people's feelings. Do you feel me? You don't fuck with a person in this capacity. You don't fuck with them in this capacity. These people are not your puppets to dangle on strings. It don't matter how fly you look at the moment. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much you think you have to offer. What the fuck? You cheat on this dude. You know that he's not going to be down with that. You keep him in the dark for days, and then you just assume that on this honeymoon you're going to be able to patch things up. You know what I mean? But you're not. What the fuck? Whoa. This story doesn't suck. This bitch is crazy. So he never returns to her. He gets checked for all the STDs, negative, and has the marriage annulled within 6 months. Belinda, fuck you for what you did to my friend. What a slut. Yeah, with a name like that, who would even want to marry your ugly ass, Belinda looking ass? Thanks, Belinda. Fuck you, Belinda. Let's put that in a bookmark up here. Talking about Belinda sorry ass. Belinda looking ass. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Number 1. I guess it beat out Belinda, but we all need to take a bat and just beat Belinda. You know what I'm talking about? I'm kidding. Number 1, we expedited the marriage because she was pregnant. Cool. And I loved her already. Cool. So wasn't concerned about it. I gotta sneeze. Give me a second. I genuinely apologize for that. Number 1, we expedited the marriage because she was pregnant, and I loved her already, so I wasn't concerned about it. I was working crazy hours so she could stay home with the baby, and our schedule started shifting so we didn't spend as much time together. She had postpartum depression. And started playing online role-playing games all night, and met a guy who didn't work and lived off of his mother, so he had all the time in the world to talk to her. Long story short, she kissed our daughter, gave her to me, and ran off with him. Fast forward over a decade and we're fine as friends now, and my daughter is cuddled up beside me as I type this, playing on her tablet. The karma is time and lifestyle haven't been kind to her, and our daughter would rather be with me and trust me more. Well, good for you. Good for you. That is so messed up. That's a story for the new age. You know what I'm talking about? That's a story for right now. Put that on an episode of TV. You know, the man at work doing this thing, and then the woman at home can't just get off to that internet porn. You know, she gonna run off with this dude.
Yeah, and I live with my mom, but you know what? Look at my score, though. Look at my score. I'm a night elf, wolf otherkin, and I am an anthropomorphic furry man. Do you want to come run away with me? You know you love the way that sounds. Listen to that, though. Listen to it. I am not Butterslice. I'm really after your husband.
Guys, this was, I really don't know what to say. Listen to me. I'd like to specifically thank, my Patreons for being fantastic and amazing people. You guys are going to get something very specific in the future, so keep an eye out for that. If these are even what you watch, I'm going to be trying to make more of those, serial killer type videos as well. Special thanks to Lexeus and Emmy for their contributions to the upkeep of this channel. And I hope to make another list soon. Love you guys. See you soon.